What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, and we are here live. No, not live. Why do I keep doing that? No, we're not live. It's not live. I keep getting stuck in my mode. Well, once again, I'm not a fan of editing, so I'm going to keep it in. We're here to talk about the return of the Clash of the Champions. Yes, one of my favorite events in wrestling history. I mean, for me, it's Royal Rumble is my favorite event in wrestling history. It's Royal Rumble. It's WrestleMania, Fall Brawl. Fall Brawl and Clash are right there. I think Clash is right a third, like rounding out the top five. It's in some kind of order. It's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Fall Brawl, War Games, really. Clash of the Champions, and King of the Ring. Those are my five favorite events of the year in history of WWE, wrestling, WCW, NWA, whatever you want to call it. By whatever name, sports entertainment, those are my five favorite events. And have one that's up there so high, fighting for the number one spot in my mind sometimes, returning is just amazing. It really is. Clash of the Champions, so many memories. If you don't remember what Clash of the Champions was, it was an event that came out on TV, on TBS or TNT, twice a year. And it would feature everybody. It was a pay-per-view on television. Essentially, that's what it was. But it had a different look. It had a cool rampway that connected to the ring. I'll never forget the connecting rampway. I mean, that was just one of the most unique, cool things I'd ever seen. I loved it. I loved everything about the Clash. It was so much fun. There were so many great moments that happened. That was the thing, because it was a pay-per-view on television. It was so impressive and so great. And I know this is not the same thing. Yes, it's on the WWE Network, so I mean, it's still a pay-per-view, but it's more of a special. At least that's how it's being highlighted, which we will talk about in just a moment, exactly what I mean by that. But the fact that it's returning at all, even in just name, and maybe not in feel, I'm hoping that they're smart enough to make it feel like a Clash of the Champions, because it was essentially a WrestleMania, a half-year WrestleMania, and it was just so, oh God, it was so great. I'm hoping that's what we're going to see, but I'm not in any delusions that is what we're going to see. I have no idea what it's going to be like. But here's something else that we know about it, that is going to be a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. And that right there is the kicker, because you see, about 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, something like that, the proposed new WWE pay-per-view schedule had been leaked. A lot of people, me being included, thought it was bullshit. But now it is becoming very, very apparent that it was not bullshit. And this truly is the pay-per-view schedule for the rest of the year, which is crazy, because look at how many events there are. Which means, dun, 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 this is now a pay-per-view per brand company. Now, some people are jumping off of a bridge. They're like, no, that can't be the case, right? And why do that? No, this is not a good idea. I'm not one of those people, because I've thought about this extensively. I put probably more thought into this than I probably should. Like, if I would just put this much thought into world hunger, maybe I can actually do something. I need to worry about losing weight, not, so I don't worry about world hunger because I'm a selfish prick. But you see, the thing is here, what this tells me is, I'm going to come back to me for a second because I'm going to say something fucking profound. What this tells me is that there is definitely going to be two distinguished, unique brands. They're going to be like their own companies. At least that's what it feels like. If each brand, which this has never happened before, is going to have its own specific pay-per-view. That means they plan on booking enough storylines to fill up their own special, their own pay-per-view. If they can, then this is not going to be a case of too much, because it's going to feel different. A SmackDown pay-per-view should feel different than a Raw pay-per-view. And then on the big four, when they come together, I mean, this is cool stuff. This can only be a good thing unless it's an absolute abortion, which I am not saying is impossible. I'm not saying that. Trust me. We've seen too many abortions by WWE to give them full benefit of the doubt. But this does seem to be like a cool thing. And of course, this does lead credence to the fact that we probably are getting a title split and we are going to have each brand with its own title. But if each brand has its own pay-per-view a month, then they're going to need their own title. So I'm okay with that as well. Let's go back to this list here. Now, we've seen, Royal Rumble, Fastlane, WrestleMania, Payback, Extreme Rules, Money in the Bank, all in the books. Battleground is the last pay-per-view under the old regime. Yes, it will technically happen after the brand split, but it will be that final tying up of all loose ends. And by spoilers that I've read from other events, let me just say that, I have a feeling Battleground is going to be rather epic with some big names, big people making debuts, returns, and possibly more. It's going to be pretty insane. And then the new schedule starts on August 21st with SummerSlam. As you see, it is a Raw/SmackDown show. It is a super show. And it's going to be the first pay-per-view that is going to feature storylines from both Raw and SmackDown under this new premise. It's also going to have NXT the day before. So interesting things. But then next month, or I'm sorry, not even next month, on September 11th, 9/11, wow. But it's a Sunday. What can you do? SmackDown is getting their own pay-per-view, their first pay-per-view, a network exclusive. Backlash is a SmackDown pay-per-view. That's happening in Richmond, Virginia. And then after that, Clash of the Champions, September 25th. That's 2 weeks later. I'm so fucking excited. In Indianapolis. Oh my God. It's a Raw event, and it's going to be awesome. Clash of Champions returning. Then No Mercy is a SmackDown event. Hell in the Cell is Raw event. Survivor Series is both SmackDown and Raw. And then up to this point, the gimmick pay-per-views or whatever you want to call them have been exclusively Raw events. But TLC is a SmackDown event. And then Raw gets Roadblock on December 18th. Pretty interesting stuff. I mean, pretty interesting stuff when you look at it like this. This is exciting to me. It's exciting to see. Yes, some people are going to be, this is too many events, they're not going to be able to keep it up. But remember, if the brands are getting as big as we hear they're going to, if the roster by the end of this month is truly going to be the largest roster that WWE has ever fielded, those are Vince McMahon's own words, then this is very doable. If each brand has over 50 performers, there's more than enough wrestlers. Look, the reality is we should start seeing new stories, new people, new attitudes, new everything. And you know what? While everything on Raw and stuff has not been great, there's no question about that. There has been elements that should be pointing you in a direction of being very optimistic here. So personally, this just gets me amped, and it's all highlighted by the return of Clash of the Champions. By the way, big shout out to Cody Rhodes, who was very classy, because Clash of the Champions, if you don't know, is a Dusty Rhodes brainchild, like many of the things from the old WCW days. Clash of the Champions, Fall Brawl, all that stuff, that Starcade, that was all, or I think Super Brawl, all that was Dusty, and he hopes that this is the first of many things that get brought back. Look, it has name recognition. Hopefully, War Games will be the big one that eventually comes back. That might be too brutal for these youngins, but who knows? But I tell you, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he wants the War Games. And if you don't like it, well, you can just go straight to hell, and that's all I got to say about that. So, I'm excited. So, what do you guys think about the Clash of the Champions return and this new WWE pay-per-view schedule? Let me know in the comment section below or up on the Skype, or don't. If you don't want to catch me on Twitter at @ThatOnDaveV, then fine, don't. Just be a yabba dabba douchebag, because I don't care. All right, thank you guys very much for joining me right here on That on Dave Productions. Make sure you check out my boy Tommy C tonight, live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at Shop from the Point for his weekly spectacular. He'll talk some hockey, but it's a drama. It's a drama. It's a shock jock show. It's not a drama show. It's a shock jock show. So make sure you go check that out. Should be a lot of fun. I believe it's Frenchie Ben and Jeff the Huffman. So make sure you guys go check that out. Also check out my man Too Tall over at XLT Podcast and so many others. Jeff the Huffman over at Grand Slam 87. And we put a video of his on this channel. We've been doing more Touch 'em All baseball videos. The reality is, if Touch 'em All doesn't get support, I can't justify keep throwing time at it. So, you know, if you guys want to see baseball on this channel, support it. If not, it's going to go away, which is unfortunate. I don't really want that to happen, but I need to put time where people are watching, and that's just how it is. So thank you guys very much for joining us right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Keep it copious, folks. Peace.